my black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white, yeah, it's black and white, we're just black and white, it's my black and white, it's my black and white scarf.
Hello, and you're very welcome to the Turn End podcast. It's season 5, episode 14. Well, it's the morning after the night before, as we're really pushing out the boundaries of what is actually a post-match reaction at this stage. To join me this morning to go through last night's match of Wexford 2, Dundalk 3 is Gally. How are you, pal?
Morning.
Morning. How are you?
Rare we get to say good morning on the intro of the podcast.
Very rare. Well, sometimes it is when we're saying, right, it's morning time. It's time to get off this. Apologies for anyone trying to get on the Instagram channel. We just seem to have a bit of an issue there this morning. Doesn't seem to want to work. So it is what it is. I suppose.
Just like us.
Yeah,
doesn't seem to want to
exactly. Gally, last week, we talked about how important it could be to try to come out of this half of matches unbeaten. To come out with all 3 points, and the way that game went last night was pretty miraculous.
Yeah, and again, it's going to show. It's showing what we're doing this season, or maybe what we're not doing. I think we said it last. It was Niall Newbury maybe said it that. It's the old cliche. We're winning games, but we're not at full pelt. We're not playing that well. I mean, look, they're getting the results, and at the end of the day, when it comes to the league table at the end of the year, that's all we're looking at. But again, we've probably played in parts. We played as poor in the first half. We've probably played all season. But yet again, you're coming out. Wexford were obviously at it. Aaron Dobbs, Levy's, Aaron Dobbs a real. Again, we talk about Dean Ebby being a Premier Division player. I mean, Aaron Dobbs is definitely not to be little first division. He's definitely a better standard than what's in front of him, what he's playing against.
Yeah.
But again, we've come out and we've played average, and it maybe shows that our average is better than everybody else's 100%. We've kind of not scraped in. I mean, look, they've been resilient. They've kind of battled till the end, and look, we'll get into that in a minute. But again, we've come away with the win, and that's all that matters. We're right. We're 6 points clear now. We're kind of going into the break. Like you say, we got over that couple of games there the last couple of weeks, and we're still the team to beat, and we're not even in fifth gear.
Yeah. I suppose we've seen one or two changes. We've seen Dervin go back in at right back, and probably more importantly, as the game progressed last night, Dean Ebbe back up top through the middle. Again, we've probably seen the best from Dean Ebbe, even for the opening goal. It's him who carries through the middle, carries the ball to the middle, rolls the ball out to Gaxa, and then, like I said on social media, he only scores bangers, that lad. He doesn't know how to tap a ball in.
And if anybody's in any doubt about the strike last week, it's almost the same. I know it's not as wide and it's not as far out, but his strike of a ball, it's the same kind of way he approaches the ball to strike it. And it's not a cross. It's, I know he's going for the goal tonight. We know that. But if you look at it, if you were to compare the two videos from this week and last week, he struck the ball the exact same. So he's obviously we were 100% right last week. He's definitely gone for it last week. And look, I mean, you can see him lined up for the keepers. I don't think the keeper's that badly placed. I mean, he's probably not expecting to go where it goes. He's in the right eye line for it, but he's absolutely he's got a little bit of a dip on it, and it's just high enough that it's out of the keeper's reach, but it's not even top corner, but he's got that much of a little bit of a perch on it that it almost gets in at it's almost hip height, shoulder height for the goalkeeper, if he's standing beside it, but it's an absolute whip of a ball. I mean, you don't save them. I mean, that's a cracking strike, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly where he wants it, and that's again another player that's probably playing below the level you'd expect him to be. But what a player to have in your ranks, even
seems like using with confidence, though, doesn't
absolutely, he? Absolutely. He's a crazy talent,
Yeah. I suppose the unfortunate thing from a Dundalk perspective, then, Gally, is that we don't hold that lead for long. It's a couple of minutes later. We're pegged back to 1-1. Darrell Evanston with the goal at the back post. I think when Kieran looks back on this, I think the thing he'll probably be most disappointed is, one, we allow Dobbs to win the ball back, and there's probably multiple opportunities to cut that ball out. It's crossed out wide on the left, and it travels a long way across the box. to Levingston at the back post, and I'm sure even Enda Minogue won't be happy with the way he tried to save it on the line too. But there's probably multiple opportunities to cut that ball out.
Yeah.
And we didn't take any of them, and then you get punished.
Yeah, and it's goals like that. It's not going to cost you. I mean, but when you look back, yes, it's a tricky win. When you look back later in the year, if you don't rally like that at the end of a game, those kind of goals, those kind of, like you say, the ball coming across the box, there's so many chances.
Yeah.
With that ball, it's such an what's the term? It's such an un-Dundalk-like goal to score. We don't normally have that issue at the back. We raving about the defensive line pretty much all season, and even the chances that Wexford would have got later on, it's so unlike Dundalk, I suppose. But you got to cut that ball in early. Like basic stuff, got to stop crosses. But even if a ball gets in there, you can't let that time pass. Like those split seconds pass every player. You can't allow that because teams will punish it. Players like Aaron Dobbs, like Livingston, they will punish you. Now, in retrospect, when we're looking back, it's we won the game, but at the time, if we're Dundalk, or probably even last year, we probably don't get anything out of it. You're up against, if they had took their chances, later on in the game, which we'll probably talk about as well. It could have been a very kind of, not a stroll in the park, but it probably could have been a very 3-4-1 victory for Wexford at one stage. But those type of, like we always say, you don't mind conceding screamers, but when it's little lapses like that from 3 or 4 players just for that split second, it goes to show that when you shut off, that's what's going to kind of, and teams will punish you for that. Not every team. We've given up chances like that during the season against Cove and Treaty that they didn't really take on. But Wexford are well up for that match tonight.
Freudian slip.
Last night, but they will punish you. Players like Dobbs, players like Livingston. We can't be giving up chances like that. We can't be playing probably poor in the first half and then letting our brain run away with us and just not having that concentration for those split seconds.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it was a poor enough first half, and we probably got what we deserve out of that first half, considering before half time, Gally, we conceded the second goal.
Yeah.
Now, if you thought there was errors in the first one, Kieran and Ken will be absolutely tearing their hair out at the second goal.
Yeah.
Mayo, it's a short pass out. He gets caught on that. He's out of position then as well. The ball travels across. Enda Minogue will be kicking himself that he doesn't just hold on to that ball.
Yeah.
It spills through. But Mikey Rowe gets pushed so far wide, you think, okay, we'll deal with this again. It hasn't been ideal. It's another ball cut in from the left all the way around again. But somehow he managed to get that ball in at the near post past Minogue and Vinnie Leonard, I think, maybe on the goal line.
Yeah.
They would be absolutely fuming to concede a goal like that. Like there's errors all over the place on it.
There is, and it starts. It's Mayo's pass is short, but it's also off. He's played it. He's probably played it in front. He's played it in front of the right back, but you can. So it's because he's been closed down. He hasn't obviously concentrated on what's coming on his right. He can't he's passed it so far in front. It is short, but it's so far. What worries me more is that it's not direct. But passes like that should be direct to a player because he's not even screening for the player coming in from the wing, and that's what kind of sets him off. He's played it that far ahead of him. Nobody's getting to it, and then they have the run on him. And what the real annoying thing with that goal is Wardy's. I'm nearly sure it's Keith Ward. I can't see the number, but I'm nearly sure it's Keith Ward. It's shocking defending on the byline. Keith Ward, he just stands and he's looking the other direction. Even though I think is it Dobbs that's gone or Dobbs or Levy? I can't remember who scores the goal.
Mikey Rowe.
He's cut. Sorry, Mikey Rowe. He's cut back in on his right, but Wardy's looking to the left. I don't know what he's looking for. I don't know why he's turned to his left. He's been caught completely flat-footed. He's got to be. I know he's not a defender, but again, it's a not to lose your it's a calamity of errors. It's gone past the goalkeeper near post. There's 3 of them standing between the ball and the line. I think Vinny's gotten a touch of it behind the line as well. It's probably the only play
kind of bundled across in the end with Vinny Leonard and Minogue, I think. Yeah,
Mayo's pass sets it off, but you got it. You still fancy us at the back.
Still expect Minogue to come out and collect that, though. He'll be fuming.
Yeah, because you get past like that in games, but you can't be. Any team looking at that tonight and go, right, well, maybe that's something we can exploit if they're dodgy on the back. But it's a rare occasion. But for me, Keith Ward's defence is not great either. On the byline, he's been completely left for dead. And he hasn't really recovered the goal after either, so that's disappointing. But look, it's one of those goals that again it's so unlike Dundalk. We're not normally at the back. We've been absolutely outstanding this season. So it's look, you don't want to give it to them. You don't want to allow them away with it. But I mean, and the two boys won't let them away with it either. But it's a lapse that just, Wexford obviously at the bit between their teeth there and we're going for it. But it's just little things that need to be picked up on training for the next one.
What we've seen then is a massive reaction in the second half from this Dundalk team. It's probably safe to say that it was Wexford who came out far the stronger in the start of the second half. Two massive chances, one from Aaron Dobbs, pretty much a straight run, and directly at Enda Minogue, fantastic save, and then Levingston kind of bundles his way through, so he finds himself in the box, and to be fair to Enda Minogue, he pulls off another stunning save there, probably to make up for the error in the first half. But like you say, we could have been 3-4 there.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that stage.
Absolutely, and what they had the running of our two centre backs most of the night, which is again, it's so unlike Dundalk, it's so unusual. But we always seem a wee bit out of sorts. I don't know if he's a bit nervous coming up against the players after the error in the first half of the pass. But Dobbs have definitely, they've really run them right at the front. It's one of those nights that again, I'm going back to the defence. It's rare. It's very rare. Yes, we could have been 3 or 4-1 down. But there's very few players in the league that are getting a run on these centre backs in Oriel Park.
Yeah.
In Dundalk, anywhere across the season, there's very few. So we're hoping that it's a one-off. Look, we've won the game. We're not going to be giving out too much. But again, you don't want to be playing the likes of a Cove Ramblers or, a Bray when it's coming down to the nitty-gritty of the season. Because we're now into we're almost a halfway point, and those type of little things where you're getting the run on players and so far up the field. It's not like they're getting the run in and around the box. They're getting the run in maybe 45 yards from goals, and they're running right in. And it's something the Dundalk maybe haven't experienced this season. So it's something that you have to go and get the grips with, because now Wexford will try and exploit that again. But yeah, absolutely, you're right. We could have been 3-1 down. Could have finished as 3-1 down, 4-1 down at the hour mark easily.
It seemed like after that Levingston goal, like you say, he kind of bundles way straight through into the middle. It looked like, Kieran clearly wasn't happy and made that triple sub. In comes Mulligan, Kenny, and Shane Tracy. Out comes Wardy, Arubi, and Groom. I think that probably tells you a lot. Wardy and Groom, you talk about that we felt we were a bit overrun in the middle. Clearly, the whole thing was then to get Mulligan into the right, get Dervin back into the middle.
You needed that balance.
To short us up, and that balance seemed to change everything then, because all of a sudden, it seemed to free up Darrell Horgan a touch. That he's suddenly out in the left and suddenly finds space everywhere out on that left. And he's unlucky with a chance himself, not that long after. But it seemed like that was the line in the sand sort of moment was, Kieran saw those three big chances, I suppose, and made that triple sub then.
Yeah, even if you take it's a triple sub, and it's not the first time we've done the 3.5 time or the amount, but for me, Mulligan in it right and there, it's probably, it might go down as definitely so far, it's probably the best substitution he's made all season. It's probably the best move in the game, because it's completely changed how we are in midfield. You need, look, I know Abe Delvin can play right back. You need Abe Delvin in the middle of the park. You need that bite. Now, we should be good enough without that factor as well. But when a game is like that, I haven't seen a lot of Wexford play this year, unless against us. But you got to have that kind of, not that settled midfielder, but you want someone who the opposition knows, right, we're going to be in for here. We're going to be in for a tackle. We're going to be in for there's going to be a bit of energy here. We got to get that right. And we didn't really have that. We have it, but we didn't have it last night's first half. Yeah. So the substitution to change at the right back is probably, they'll probably look back and say it's a key move. Yes, there's 2 other subs come on as well, but the Mulligans come in and, you kind of argue why he's not starting at right back. He's done himself no harm again. We spoke about.
I think O'Keefe's probably for the experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably that whole reason. But like I say, if O'Keefe's not available, you probably think rather than a makeshift player going into that position, you want to play a player who's more used to that position than probably an unorthodox right back. In putting into that position. Like I said, those substitutes seem to free up Darrell Horgan. Suddenly there's a ball over the top and Darrell realizes he's got pace on that on their right back. He's in. It's a good save from their keeper. But you could see all of a sudden, I think Darrell started to realise, and maybe even Sean Keogh pushed up a touch then as well, that they were retreating back slightly on this. And indeed, that's where the goal comes from. Its initial cross put in, I think, by Sean Keogh, recycled back out for a throw in. I think it's Horgan throws into Kenny, it looks like, comes across. and Horgan's got time to steady it, whips in a fabulous ball into the back post. And like you said before, if you want to lay up a ball for anyone on Dean Ebbe's head, like that's the player you want every time, because he seems to love them, attacks them at the right time, and the fact he follows the ball in as well, because I'm not too sure if it was definitely coming across the line from his header initially, but because he follows in the ball, it bundles it across the line anyway.
Yeah, and how many, just you said it there, how many people don't follow it in? How many people just head it, and they're kind of, because of the angle they've hit it at, and because of the kind of trajectory of their own body, they're automatically going out to the right. So, but like, you don't want anybody else. I mean, you think about,
you look at the goals he scored against Longford. He's done this. This seems to be his bread and butter.
He has that experience. He knows. Yeah, like this is just like even with the way he got the ball out of the net, it's like a nonchalant. He's like the Berbatov, that kind of just cruises around, gets the goal back, let's go again.
Sticks it on the halfway line to get going again.
Our headers years ago would have come from, in the Kenny era. I know we'd have been relying on centre backs, Boyle, Garter, that thing. Paddy Barrett, Chris Shields contribute with the odd one, but when you have a player like that who knows where to be, not that the other strikers don't, but he has. Ruby would be the closest thing we probably have. Owen Kenny,
more with his feet, you would say.
Yeah, a lot of running, a lot of energy. It gives you something a wee bit different. But I mean, if you're down in the dump and you need a goal and you're looking at someone to get it, Dean Ebbe is the man to do it. On this season, what we've seen. But he's going to get. There's going to be so many at the end of the season. There's going to be so many key points we're going to be talking about. Dean Ebbe's going to be right at the front. These little key goals, these little nuggets of goals that he gets us. And again, like you say, even the follow up, most are kind of selling or running away, just thinking they've scored maybe. But he has that little bit of kind of nous to know that, right, we got to get in here and finish it off. But yeah, you don't want anybody really. And it's a Dundalk goal. It's what we've done all season. Little pass, little play from the midfield, and then we've got to strike our weight on the ball. It's normally Dean Ebbe. You'd argue Owen Kenny probably doesn't get in there. A Ruby maybe not either. So that wee bit of experience that Ebbe has, it's vital. It's vital to us for the season. Absolutely vital. And he's showing it tonight again, or last night. Another Friday slip.
It seemed then once we kind of up that tempo, we got the equaliser back. It did seem to retreat back quite a lot. Horgan's finding acres of space in there. It seemed to be more of a clean-up operation at the back for Dundalk rather than being tested anywhere. But like you say, probably right on the money here. I was going to say we deliver a goal in, but that could be a delivery at your front door.
I didn't know that was my door, and I don't know what that is.
But you're talking about bringing in Luke Mulligan in there, has been a masterstroke of a substitute. If you're Luke, you're claiming the goal, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm him, 100%. Like you don't need to see any else. I've headed it. I looked around, it's in the back of the net. I'm good to go. That's the way I would be. I would 100%. You'd have to argue the angle that it's at. Does it go in if it doesn't get the other bit? Yeah, look, I mean, you'd have to go to the FAI for that one. But I mean, absolutely, you're claiming it. The young fella, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
His movement off you actually just talked about. Something used to be a staple of the Dundalk team was fullbacks and that kind of attacking the ball and corner piece. If you look at Mulligan's run across. He's actually on the far post, nearly inside the 6-yard line, and he runs across the goal to get that flick on. Like, it's clearly something that they've worked on before that he makes that movement. Now, whether that ball is meant to be recycled towards the back post or he's meant to loop it in, who knows? But it just goes to show.
I would say it's definitely meant to be kind of get a nick on it, bit of a second
recycle the ball,
falls to an Ebbe, that type of thing. But I mean, it's and then we talk about the substitutions. Would they have worked out with the players that are already on the field? If Mulligan doesn't come in, maybe it's something just for him because they're not maybe expecting the full back up for the corners. I know we don't send full backs up for corners on my own team, so it's something you don't really see that often. Usually keep them kind of because of their pace. You normally send up the big centre backs. Yeah. So look, it's something they've obviously worked on, and well, why wouldn't he claim it? Run away into the stand. Absolutely, I'd be claiming it 100%.
88 minute then, so we're suddenly leading this game, and it seemed to me then that Wexford were kind of floored by it all, and having played, you could probably say the majority of this game, they probably were a better team, but at crucial parts in the game, I felt, obviously taking the lead goal, getting the equaliser to give yourself enough time to get back into this game as well, with the attacking substitutes and tactical substitutes that Kieran made. and then to score the winner that late on seemed to knock the stuffing out of Wexford, and allowed us to take all 3 points. From Kieran and Ken's point of view, there's probably a lot to work on in little areas, like the fact that the goals, like you mentioned, that we gave away. But overall, I think if you had told Kieran that you would be halfway through the season still unbeaten, 6 points on ahead, you'd probably take that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we said at the start of the year, like we might win the league by maybe 6 or 7 points. That's probably what it come down to. We might win with maybe 2 or 3 games to go. But to be at this stage, and like, and like maybe we're being harsh. I don't know. Maybe look, I doubt too many of the. I don't know if too many of the coaches listen to us on this podcast. I doubt they do, but they're probably thinking they've played. We definitely have another gear. Like we can definitely play. Like we haven't hit peak form at all. Like if if we got really at it, and we keep getting like I said at the start, us playing at 75-80% is better than most of the teams that are 100%. Like we're so superior to everybody. And yes, we haven't had the greatest of 90 minutes. We can't seem to get a block of 1 minute to 90 minutes. We're just absolutely tanking teams. And look, you don't want to see scores getting stupid either. You don't want to see 10-0s and make a mockery of the whole thing. But I just think we've another level to go to. And we even talk, break coming up in your transfer window. I don't even think, provided nobody leaves, you only need to add to the squad. I mean, I think it's such a strong unit. The lads they'll be delighted where they are, but they know that we can definitely hit another gear, and it's almost like teams will want to play. If we had another gear, it could be over. You could be talking 4 or 5 games to go, and this league could be finished.
Yeah, I think to get off
back to haunt me.
I think the good start and stuff we had, and the fact that we kept squeezing out those kind of 1-goal wins each time, that probably. I think everyone thought eventually we would drop more points than we did, but it just seemed like we kind of leveled the games out, or we pulled a point out of the jaws of defeat, and that's probably knocked a lot of teams back. We mentioned it before, Gally. We thought we weren't too sure what teams might be in the mix there, but there seems to be a 10-point gap between Treaty and Bray. And like you're kind of thinking that Bray on 34 points, Cove 35, and us on 41. To win this league, it's probably one of these 3 teams now at this stage.
It has to be. I mean, I don't see it just looking at like
the big gap to the others, isn't it?
Yeah, you even look at Athlone, you would have expected Athlone to be a lot higher than they actually are, which is crazy when you look at how bad Longford can be. But
I think
Treaty,
everything that's going on at Athlone.
If there's anybody going to, I think Wexford will finish higher than they are. I think they showed last night they're a really good team, but I don't see anybody past. I think Bray could definitely put a run together because we've seen it already. But I really provided we just stay at the level right, we don't actually need to go up another gear. That's we're getting a bit of luck, and we've probably been due over the last couple of seasons. But I really don't see anybody we would have to absolute. I don't mean we'd have to implode, but we're better than everybody in the league. On the day we should be better than everybody in the league. So I really don't see us. It's not that the gap could get closer at some stage if you get a bit of injuries, but I really don't see us having any issues. Like we're 17, we've won 12, our goal difference is 29. We conceded 11. I mean, we've been solid. It's a goal every 1.5 matches. We've just been really solid. Provided, you see Vinnie Leonard in the paper during the week, not himself, but rumours of him going somewhere. Provided that doesn't happen to too many players, but even at that, I think. There's enough in the tank, and there's enough kind of want for people to join this club now that I think we'd be absolutely fine. I really do. And I probably shouldn't even be saying that because 100% knowing this podcast, we'd be.
But I think that's just it, Doug. That could be what could not derail us or anything like that, but could throw the spanner in the works is if, because how well we are playing.
Exactly.
And how well some of these young players in particular are playing as well.
Yeah.
And that could be the thing that could. Other potential suitors, whether in this country or outside it.
Yeah, for me, even if we get promoted, there's absolutely. I'd be pretty confident Vinnie Leonard will not be playing for the Dog Football Club next year. I just think we get him on loan maybe for the year, but he's such a talent. I just don't see it. And look, best luck, but I mean, obviously we don't want him to go anywhere else. But players like that, and we have McHale, who we keep forgetting McHale's, but he doesn't seem to be kind of.
The injury he just had there recently when he played in at right back. Now it's probably
and you've also got Conor
the
O'Keefe in the back if needed. So there's plenty of options. There really is. And the beauty of Dundalk at the minute is the bench is so strong. There is nobody that has a full squad like ours, and we can interchange and we can give players rests, which is mental considering we're going for trying to get promoted. But
we lamented last year's bench for so
long, exactly,
compared to how important and how influential this year's bench. And like you said, we've seen halftime substitutes, triple subs or something like that previously. This time, kind of 10, 15 minutes into the second half, he makes that, and there's Mulligan pops up with the winner, and that formational change that we make, and that kind of changed the whole match. As well,
and we also we got the likes of Gax and these players who are looking to get back to Premier Division football. They want to be at Premier Division, so they're going to do everything they can. And then we drive them with that, bring them with that success for next season with us. But it really is that we alluded to very early on the year. They've got a perfect combination in Oriel Park at the minute. We just hope nothing else happens. Off the field stuff, we just simply clear on through.
That's true. I suppose that we just kind of wanted to jump on, do a quick surmise of last night, and we didn't want it to go on too long, so we'll do a quick show now. I suppose the other thing to worry about is how well Kieran and Ken are doing. You'd worry with the way managerial changes happen in this league as well. I mean, I'm sure everyone, including ourselves, is a little surprised at how well he's taken to managing his first senior men's team in the League of Ireland. And he's taken to a duck like water. He's not shied away from big calls, making substitutions like tonight or last night. I finally done it as well. But it just goes to show, Kieran looks like he has a little something there as well. It's probably important that we do get promotion just to hold on to the likes of even Kieran too.
Yeah, and I'll hold my hand up. When it was rumoured that he was getting, I didn't know if it was the right appointment, simply because I thought we might need.
You didn't say that to him, Oriel.
No, I didn't. I was like, Kieran, I love you. But I kind of thought we would have went for someone who had experience of promotion, maybe. But what do we know? He's come in and he's been a breath of fresh air. The night we interviewed him, I knew that the night we sat there in Oriel Park in the Lily White, I knew that this was the man for the job. He said it he was very kind of bold, very brash, not arrogant, but he literally said on the whiteboard, he is the best man for the job. And you can Kieran, they seem to fit really well. It's we've been blessed. Now I don't see them jumping. I don't see them going anywhere. Maybe that's being arrogant now, but I don't see them jumping ship for another League of Ireland team. I don't see why they would go unless it's now, tomorrow. But I think they're that Kieran's that hungry to get success, especially as he's a former player and he's been here. He's seen what Stephen Kenny done. He's looking to emulate something. Now, we probably won't emulate that, but he's looking to emulate something like that, have that success. When we get a new stadium, we'll have to name a stand after someone. So why not let it be Kieran Dundalk? Because we never got one for Stephen Kenny.
Finally, Gary, I suppose this break, you would think after the draws we were having, now we're finally turning those into wins. Is this break coming at a slightly wrong time for us?
Yeah.
That, you want to keep this going?
Yeah,
you probably want to keep this run going. Now you're putting that maybe fear factor back into teams, considering this gap was down to 3 points at one stage. We have it back now to 6 again, and you'd be looking to extend that with UCD coming to Oriel Park next after the break. Yeah,
you'd you don't mind the break, but I think maybe another game, another 2 games maybe, just to kind of get over that. Because UCD, you just don't know. You know what I mean? Look, you don't know what. I think it's UCD, and then you have Treaty. You have 2 home games on the bounce. So maybe another week. It's only a week off, really, when you think of it. But another game or 2 with adjustment, just to kind of keep that momentum. Because other teams, it looks like we're going to kind of keep plodding along. And other teams maybe. They have to catch us at the end of the day, so they're going to be struggling at some stage because Cove and Bray have to play each other.
Yeah,
so you would have been
someone could be taking points off each other.
Yeah, so I would have liked maybe another game or 2, but it's probably it's not that it's the wrong time. I think for fans, you just want to build on that. You don't want to, especially after last night. You're winning the last couple of minutes. Young fella scoring again. You don't want to have 2-week break. You want to get stuck in again. So maybe a couple of weeks early, but look. I don't fear anything coming back from it. I think they'll be ready to go and they'll be itching for a game of football. That's whereas this time last year they probably would have took a 6-month break because just the season we were having. So 1 week these lads will be itching to go, especially the young fellas. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I think maybe us as Dundalk fans may have a little trauma over this break as well, because this is where we lost the 2 Zacks and everything went pear-shaped come last year as well. So to see us come out with positive football and everything else, that's really what you want in the keep.
We just want to come back when everybody's still in a jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Look, as I said, we just wanted to jump on and give a quick reflection on the game last night. It's funny, I'm just thinking of Luke Mulligan and even Dean Ebbe there tonight. How many times has Kieran said you're looking for lads to stick their hand up and take their chances? It's probably, having this time off now is going to give the 2 lads a headache of who's actually going to play. You've only 11 players that can take to the pitch, and yet everybody's substitutions or whatever he makes. It was a Ruby originally coming in to displace Dean Ebbe. Now Dean Ebbe has come in, scored an important equaliser to get us back. Luke Mulligan, like I say, comes off the bench, scores a winner. It's a headache. It's a nice headache to have, because they're all, I suppose, positive moves, as in guys, wanting to get into this team and prove themselves. But it must be a headache for the managerial team to actually settle on a starting 11 these days.
Yeah, because they probably thought we'll get a couple of young fellas in, they'll supplement the squad, but they're not actually supplement. They're not taking over, but I mean, they're more than good enough to play. And even we allude to Luke Mulligan, one of the first things Ken Keown said that night in Oriel Park was how impressed he was by Luke Mulligan. So obviously they have eyes on him since they come in. We've seen bits and pieces of him, heard bits and pieces of him from last season, but they've obviously have a lot of faith in what they're doing. And are we surprised the young fellas? Of course we are, because we're just not used to seeing as Dundalk fans. The breakthrough, it's very rare. Look, we were dealing with a different era, but I mean, these must even be caught on the hop how good these are, albeit first division. But I mean, they're the type of lads, they want to play, but you won't have any problems with them not playing. They want to just bed in, watch the squad, and do what they can when they come on. And it's the perfect combination for the boys. It really is. Yeah.
Well, look, we'll wrap it there, Gally. It's a Saturday, plenty to be done today. Go fix your car, and I got to bring people to hairdressers. Right. Well, on that note, thanks everyone for joining in. Apologies for no show last night, but look, it's good to get one out there, and we will see everyone back the other side of the international break. And until then, come on to town.
My black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white. Yeah, it's black and white. We're just black and white. It's my black and white. It's my black and white.